All right, so this is going to be the start of a project that I'm working on, partly for school and partly as a side project. It's going to be a fully functional model roller coaster. Initially, I'm going to be focusing on this control panel you see here. I forgot to record the intro to any of this initially, so um, after this part, you'll see basically the initial stage of this, and then how I get to here at the end of the video. But yeah, so right now I'm focusing mainly on this board. It's an 8-button panel. It has all the buttons you can see with the labels. Uses an Arduino Mega, and then these arcade buttons. And then I'm also going to be slowly starting to come up with a design for the actual coaster. I'm going to be designing the trains. I have Coaster Dynamics track, which I'm using, and then everything else I'm going to be designing and 3D printing supports all that. And then I'll make sure to document all that, this whole long process. But yeah, I just figured I'd put together an intro since the intro of the next clip is like just throwing you right into what I've been doing. But yeah, so take a look at how I basically got to this point.
Okay, so right here I have the very first iteration of the Arduino roller coaster control panel. Basically what you have is 2 dispatch lights on the outer sides, and then one of these buttons slash lights represents the gates, and then the other one is restraints. So once I plug this in here, you'll see there we go. So it starts off basically ready to be dispatched when you see the solid yellow lights for the restraint gate buttons, and then blinking dispatch lights. It means you can dispatch. And if you wanted to do that, you'd have to hold the 2 push buttons right here. But if we wanted to say open the gates, you just tap that, and then that starts blinking and it takes away the ability to dispatch. You can do the same thing with the other restraint. I don't know which one's which yet, but basically the same thing. So now both of those are blinking, letting us know that the restraints are open and the gates are open. Then we can close, one of them, close the other. Then we can go back to the ability to dispatch. And then I hit both buttons. Right now I just have it blinking faster so it's dispatching, so that's about it.
Alright, so it's been a little bit since I filmed that last part of the video. Basically, I had the first 4 buttons set up on a breadboard, but past few days I managed to 3D printed a housing basically for all 8 buttons that I plan to incorporate into the panel. This is kind of the first version. I kind of needed to print it a little bit faster, so I didn't have it completely enclosed. I just kind of had it almost just looks like a table. But this still took like 5 hours to print, so I might make another one where it's fully enclosed and I could put the breadboard inside, but for now this is what I'm just going to stick with. So right now I've got all 8 buttons on here. They're super simple, like you would find these buttons on an arcade cabinet, and these were cheap and they're good because they're a little bit what I was looking for, where it's a button that has an LED incorporated with it. Right now I don't really have like Allen Bradley switches like you see on a lot of other panels, but I might get those in the future. We'll see. But yeah, it's the same. Basically, 2 dispatch buttons, harnesses, gates, and then the plan is to have an acknowledge button, ride start, reset, and e-stop, and then I'll either in a separate video or stitch that onto this video, program those in, and then show the full working first version of the panel. But same thing as always. It's ready to dispatch. Harness and gate light are lit up. Once I add in the other lights, the e-stop will also be lit up, solid, basically letting you know that that's available for you to push, as it always, would be. So then you can toggle harnesses, dispatch ability goes away, toggle gates, and then you can close both of them, bring out the ability to dispatch, and dispatch. Yeah, super simple. I'm going to start working on the other buttons, probably e-stop first, then acknowledge, and then kind of want to figure out what I'm going to do with these two. I'm pretty sure I'm going to have reset before the e-stop, so you have to either hit maybe e-stop again once you've enabled it, and then reset, and then acknowledge will be when you fully start up the panel after hitting ride start. You'll have to acknowledge that all bulbs work, and then that'll basically, you'll see all 8 buttons flashing to let you know that they're working. But yeah, I will add on more once I've done some more work on this. So just kind of quickly, I also figured I'd show off the track. This is just coaster dynamics track. I have a bunch of blue track and the gray rails, blue cross ties. This is kind of the only part of the entire model coaster that I'm going to be using something that was pre-made. I'm going to be designing the train, as well as all the supports, pretty much everything else. The track, though, it's good because it's flexible, so that allows me room for error when I'm like designing the actual layout and stuff. And I can just 3D print supports. Hopefully that will go smoothly, but that is the plan right now. Yeah, just using this coaster dynamics track. But I figured I'd show that since it's something different than just the panel right now, that I have the track right here. All right, so this is going to be a little bit quick. This will be the final segment of this video, I think. But I added in the e-stop, and I'll just show that off quickly. So you're in ready to dispatch, but hit e-stop, and then all lights go off. E-stop blinks super fast. And then right now, I don't have reset program, but so I just have it so you hit e-stop again, goes out of e-stop. And the one notable thing that I'm actually a little bit proud of is that if you, let's say you had the gates and harnesses open for whatever reason, and then you e-stopped, once you get out of that e-stop, it remembers which state the buttons were in, basically. So yeah, that's going to be the end of this part of the Arduino control panel. In the next part, I'll add, hopefully, the next 3 buttons, and then tune pretty much the whole thing. There's some areas that kind of don't make sense logically right now in the code, so I'm going to work those out. But yeah, this will be the final part of this video.